And we started building a company. We started making a brand. You may all remember our first t-shirts. This is Katie Lotz. What's up everyone, it's Alice from Portrait 52 with a second episode of our series Making the Brand. Home edition, no interview today because contrary to many people think, the corona pandemic is still on. People are still getting sick and all over the world people are dying. So there's no reason to think that this was just a hoax or that it's all over and we can go back to life before it started at the beginning of this year. Today's episode is going to be a wrap-up of the last year, actually the last 15 months or so. From founding the company on the beginning of March until now, our development, our thoughts, the hardships that we have encountered along the way, and also our successes, how we changed as persons, how our brand changed. When I came up with the idea of Portrait 52 about 2 years ago, I was very excited about learning a new skill, starting drawing again and developing a skill of drawing portraits, which was, in my opinion, one of the highest drawing skills possible. At first I only thought about sharing these portraits with the world, maybe on YouTube. But as I talked to my friends about it and explained what I was going to do, you can hear about all of it in our first video where I was pretty shy and excited and all flushed up and well, I'm still not feeling that comfortable in front of the camera, but I do feel a lot better and I think I can talk a lot more freely now. I digress, as always. So at the beginning I just wanted to draw 52 portraits, one portrait a week for the span of 1 year, and share them with the world and show the world how these people have inspired me. The idea behind it was that we can find inspiration, and we do find inspiration in so many people around us. And there are people on this planet who inspire millions and millions of other people. We are all made up of not just the inspiration that we gather from these people, but also on how we act on this inspiration. So it was a bit of a complicated project from the beginning, and eventually I had to admit to myself that I wouldn't be able to do it by myself. It was a big project, and I thought, what about turning it into a startup and making a company and developing a product that would help share this inspiration with a lot more people all over the world, starting small in Germany, of course, but then sharing it with the whole world in a form of a product. As I was drawing portraits, I thought the easiest way to share it and get it out there was making prints for portraits. You may all remember our first t-shirt. This is Katie Lott's. The first portrait I drew, the one person that has prompted me to start drawing again. This is the final design. A lot of time later and a lot of development later. Also my personal development as a designer, but also the development of the company in general. When I decided to make it a startup and develop a product, I knew I wouldn't be able to do this by myself, and that would beat the whole idea of Portrait 52, because Portrait 52 is about community, about sharing each other's inspiration and helping each other to take action in the right direction. So I went searching for a bunch of people who would share this enthusiasm for becoming a game changer, for making our contribution to social change. And I found Chris and Maddie, my wife Diana, of course, a few other people who are helping us spread the word out there. And we started building a company. We started making a brand. Making the brand turned out a bit more difficult than expected. Also because we have to live up to the task and we have to develop a product that goes hand in hand with the values we try to excite people for. That is why we couldn't just make some t-shirts with some prints on it. That's also not the point of Portrait 52. So we wanted from the beginning, we wanted to find materials that were fairly sourced. We wanted to work with sustainable materials, and I'm talking sustainability not just from an environmental perspective, but also from a social perspective. So organic cotton and recycled materials were a must from the beginning, but also the sourcing of the organic cotton was very important, and also the production of the fabrics themselves, which producing organic cotton still asks for a lot of water. I have a video about how water consuming cotton fabric production is. I'm not going to talk about that right now, but we wanted to look for companies that invest in technological development and have already found a way to produce their fabrics in a more sustainable way. Also, we wanted to make sure that the manufacturing of the garments themselves was also socially sustainable, meaning that the people working to produce our garments, our t-shirts, are fairly paid and can make a decent living out of their salaries and not just get minimum wage and nearly get by or not get by at all, as is the case in the majority of the fashion industry companies. These are all hard steps to climb for a small company just starting out with little or no budget. But it turns out it is doable. After several attempts, we finally found our company. We source our materials from Tintex Textiles, which is a company based in Portugal. They produce organic cotton fabrics and use 70% less water than in usual cotton production. Also, we have found a very nice company here in Germany. It's called Stitch by Stitch. This company will produce our t-shirts. We will keep you posted on that. What really kept me going and also kept all the others still be on my side and help me, although they have their jobs. And what really kept us going is, I think, the idea of Portrait 52 and the potential of all of us becoming game changers, all of us contributing our part to pushing the society in the right direction. Meeting people like Jane Goodall helps. Just being close to this woman and feeling that energy and experiencing close hand how determination can make someone do so much change in this world. It helps a lot. It helps a lot having all these great people around me. Being a community, although I've been a loner all my life and have always tried to do things by myself, and it's still difficult to accept help. Portrait 52 is definitely a community project. So I want to thank everybody who worked and is still working to make this happen. And I also want to talk just a bit about how things changed, because this is a crazy year. I mean, I think we all agree on it. It started with a pandemic. It developed in the worst pandemic of our modern society of the last 100 years. So the world hasn't seen something like this since the Spanish flu that was at the end of the First World War. So it's over 100 years ago. But beside this pandemic, we have witnessed a lot of social change, and people are fed up with this system, and they finally have the courage to get out there and express what they think and be on the right side of change and not just staying in the dark thinking, oh, how unfair this world is, and oh, what a bad system we have, but not actually doing something about it. I think we have seen with the Fridays for Future movement, and also now with the Black Lives Matter movement, that we have the courage to step up and also take part and take sides, because that's the most important thing. It's the first thing, the first step we have to do is to take sides. The second step we have to do is to take action. It's just my personal opinion on the topic. So that's why you might have seen, if you followed us on Instagram and maybe read our blogs, you might have seen a change in the portraits in the last few weeks we have had quite a few portraits of Black people who have done so many things and have inspired so millions and millions of people on this planet, people of different colors and whatever orientations. So we have a lot of more portraits, a lot of more Black portraits, because we want to show our support and also contribute to this movement. And talking about speaking up, it's Pride Month, June and July, so middle of June till middle of July, it's Pride Month, and at the 4th of July, Pride Week in Munich starts. It's going to be a virtual event this year due to the pandemic, but it doesn't mean that we cannot be colorful and we cannot take part in it. And as you may know,
Bist du glücklich?
ich bin glücklich.
Cool.
It turned out it wasn't really a criterion for being a part of Portrait 52, but the 4 members who really work on it, so the core of the people who work on it, the ones that you can see also on our website, we are all queer, and this is a pure coincidence actually. But I think it makes a point, because we have to stick together as a community, and we also have to fight for our own community, also for other communities that have experienced and do experience discrimination on a regular basis. Hopefully, in time for Pride Week in Munich, we will have our first product launched. We will post on Instagram when it's here. It's going to be a mask. And through the magic of video editing, here is a mask prototype. This is how our masks will look like. You can buy them by writing us an email, DM us on Instagram, talk to us on the streets, comment here on this platform. Just, I hope you are with us in this fight, and I hope we can be with you and we can support you through the products that we make. We can support you to start those uncomfortable conversations and go through them with empathy and determination, because as I said, it's more important than ever. We'll keep you posted on everything that we do. It's going to be a lot in the next few months, in the next couple of months, even if you won't get everything that happens behind the scenes. In September, we are so excited. As I said, will be the crowdfunding project. Until then, maybe we will see each other on the streets wearing one of these beautiful masks. I'm very proud of them. I think we all are. If you like this video, subscribe, leave us a thumbs up, write something in the comments, and we'll see each other next video in Making the Brand.